Hey everyone, I'm Dave Erickson. Welcome back to Everyman Driver. Today, an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the interior design process on creating the 2015 Ford Mustang.
We received the briefing to do the new Mustang. It's a little different than any other car because it's been around for 50 years. So there's a couple of things that we definitely needed to have, which is expected from us, and it's also what the DNA of Mustang really is, meaning we want to have the large analog gauges. We want to have the double brow, which is very Mustang, and we want to have a symmetrical IP. So knowing these things, that's when we start sketching, and always trying to keep in mind that it has to be a Mustang. So we start with many ideation sketches, trying to capture the theme, trying to pretty much invent what the next generation is going to be. So we go through quite a few ideas, and in the end we're going to zero it in towards themes. And one theme that was in common is the aeronautical theme. We wanted something that is designed and not styled. We don't want lines that don't really need to be there. We want to create something that is pure, if you like. So there's two themes that we take to market research. One is more evolutionary, another one more revolutionary. We test the water, if you like. We want to see what people's response is, what areas do they focus on, what are they gravitating towards, and still keeping in mind, do they think it's a Mustang, do we feel it's a Mustang?
Even though we do a lot of sketching and renderings, but we need a three-dimensional process. So that's where Russell here at Digital Sculptor will take us through what the digital process is all about.
I actually have a very cool job. I get to take these guys, like awesome ideas and themes, and put it together with engineering requirements and ergonomics, and make a 3D model. This is a software called Alias, and it's very cool because we can quickly change things and try different things out, whether it be like different color schemes, like doing something like that, or Michael or Sewan or whatever could sit down with me, and we can grab points on here, and we can sculpt right here in space and say, okay, well, we really want this to have more crown, so we're going to move it out. What's kind of cool is this is very collaborative. We have designers, we have engineers, we have the clay sculptors, and we all have to work closely together. Like, I bounce this to like the clay side, they do work, they sweeten up surfaces, they bounce it back to me, we change things. I put in like some more technical things, and we take this data, we mill it out, we make hard parts like this, where we grow out of the things on here, and later on you'll see where this is taken to the extreme, where you have a clay model with the hard parts and real materials like aluminum and leather like we have in the car. We make these models that we take to show people, to gauge a reaction and show off, you know, the passion we had and these great designs, so people can really get a real feel for it. From here, it's super important to get it into the clay because you really want to get the tactile feel. I mean, you can see the themes here, you can see like how exciting it is, but you really want to feel it and see the volumes, because that's what you're going to experience in real life, and that's really what the clay guys give us over there.
Yeah. So
what I'll do is I'll take a lot of the two-dimensional drawings, we'll transfer them to 3D properties like this, using the mill, using the tools that promote the information from the data. And then we'll refine those designs in 3D, because you can't really see it on the tube what the end result will be. So we'll refine this, we'll change the lines, we'll change surfaces, and because of the technology nowadays, we have the ability to change little surfaces, change radiuses, and scan it at the end of the day. So we always document those changes, and then we keep refining until we get to an end point where we're happy with the design and all the surfaces are correct. And then they move into a different, then we start wrapping parts with latex material, which you'll see over there. And then, like, techniques as far as the actual modeling, we use wires similar to this. We have a bunch of different shapes for different areas. And then steel, all different shapes, different materials for different spots. And we will take tools like this, and we'll basically scrape the clay down. And this is more of a finished, working into a finished area. When we were first starting out, we used like a rougher rake that'll take a lot more material off. But for something like this, we're just cleaning up areas and refining really minor changes along the way, straightening lines out, straightening surface out.
That's the beauty of working with the clay, because you can do anything with the clay. You can sculpt it, fix it,
fast.
change.
It's quick changes, and it's easy to document, and it just leads.
So once we like the clay or the design, we want to see it in actual material. We wrap it with leather or metal or wood. So over there, the next model, Carrie will guide us or show us the process of that.
So this door underneath here is actually clay. My job is to put a color grain and gloss on every surface, inside, outside, under hood, exterior wheels. So once we have a theme going, we know that we want the door to be black. We know what kind of texture we want to first show. So we have molds in our shop that have this animal grain, and they spray latex paint on it, and then they pull the latex paint off, and our modelers will wrap it over the clay. And then, like for this door insert, it's a hard mill part. They'll take a mill off of it to compensate for the thickness of the leather, and then this part goes to our trim shop, and we work with Michael and Seiwan on exactly where this line is going to be. I'll say that I want it to be a deck or a French, and how many stitches per inch and what color I want the stitches to make everything come together. So the door goes along with the seat, it goes along with the brow. We know that we want metal on the IP. The Mustang has 4 different metals on the IP, but because it's early in development, we don't have all those patterns down yet. So this is a huge piece of milled aluminum that we've put in here. And then these brows are made from hard foam too. It kind of is, while we're doing this, we're also working with suppliers to kind of get across what our vision is to make sure it can be made into production. So this seam line actually has been moved many times because of how the brow is going to be formed, whether it can be pushed through a machine in production and get that accent stitch that we want. Make sure it's in the, where the driver is going to look at it, if it's going to look good. And that's what this model kind of represents. A person can get in, feel the shifters, see the steering wheel, make sure it's not, blocking anything in the cluster that we want to show off. And we know we want the different gauges, how everything looks together. So all of this is done in all of our different shops. They wire everything back here is wired. It's running off of a battery to get as close as we can get to what production is going to look like. And then after this stage, we get to, we do a lot of different quarter bucks to represent the different series, and finally we get to an inside-outside model, which is in the middle of the room there, and that's when all the exterior stuff comes together, all the interior stuff, and it's our first full vehicle that people can get in, and everything feels pretty close to what you're going to get in production.